Imagine making $20,000 a month from your passion project, and then out of nowhere, Google wipes it all away.
My traffic to the website has plummeted 90 to 95%.
This is Jake Foley, the mastermind behind That Fit Friend, a site for honest fitness gear reviews. Jake didn't just lose 80% of his revenue. Everything he'd poured his passion into, day after day, was completely shattered.
I want to build training and shoe content, but not knowing what got me into this place in the first place to where I can't even run my business, it's very frustrating.
This nightmare situation isn't rare. It's taking down businesses left and right. But Jake isn't backing down. So I'm stepping in to uncover the truth, give him steps to recover, and hopefully watch his business bounce back. But first, I needed to find out if he's the real deal.
Let's go. Tight, tight, tight. Yes. Bring it through. Good. This will be our nice, precursor warm-up set.
Precursor. I thought this was the end.
Nice.
We gotta make me look like I'm stronger than I am. It's the purpose of this video. Don't know if this is going up, Jake.
It is. You got it. Yeah, let's go. That was great.
Yeah.
Having spent a day with Jake, it was clear that he's the fitness expert he claims to be. It was time to uncover the truth of what really went down.
It looks like at your peak, you were actually at 167. You're basically down here. We have you down at around 1800. When you look at this graph, how similar would you say that this looks to Search Console or Google Analytics?
Very similar.
Ahrefs Site Explorer shows you traffic estimations for any website, and it's invaluable in diagnosing why traffic drops occurred.
You started to get drop off in September. There was the helpful content update, the October core update. By the March 2024 core update, you took a nosedive down here.
When significant traffic drops line up with a Google algorithm update, it gives you a starting point to zero in on the potential cause. I know how important this is because Google has crushed one of my sites too.
But the time that I got hit was in 2012, and that was at the time of the Penguin update. I should have been hit because I was buying links like crazy.
Backlinks are hyperlinks from one page to another, and Google treats them like votes to understand a page's importance. But getting them isn't easy. That's why tons of people resort to buying them, which they don't like.
When I got hit, so did a whole bunch of other people who weren't buying links, who weren't doing things that they shouldn't have been doing, according to Google spam policies.
Now it feels like history is repeating, but this time, they're overcompensating for something new.
Since ChatGPT, there's been a lot of spam. Anyone can create thousands and thousands of pages like this, right?
To combat this, Google went on the offense, cracking down on spammy AI-driven sites.
I don't think that they can actually just hit the bad ones. And so naturally, there's going to be good ones like yours that just kind of get in the way and you're in the crossfire. In your case, you weren't using mass-generated AI content. You weren't doing anything wrong, but you just got hit.
While it's important to understand why Jake was hit, the priority now is helping him recover his traffic and revenue.
What are your revenue sources for the website?
Mostly it's affiliate-driven, and then also ads.
That means Jake earns a commission when someone buys products through his links. But without traffic, the money dries up. And running a review site like Jake's isn't cheap.
Last month, I think I spent $3,700 on shoes alone.
Jake actually buys and tests every item he reviews, something that sets him apart from many other affiliate sites. This allows him to keep his reviews informative, honest, and unbiased.
And if it sucks, I'm gonna tell people.
Before working full-time on his site, Jake was a fitness editor at Barbet, writing over 2,000 articles and creating 300 videos. His content has generated tons of traffic from Google, and his expertise is also trusted across major publications. But now that he's creating content under his own brand, That Fit Friend, Google doesn't seem to be giving his content the same treatment, despite his relentless efforts to create in-depth and authentic content. This has him in a dilemma.
Do I keep producing written content at this point? Because if it's landing on the third page when I'm the only written review for it, what is the actual point? When I'm going more in depth than even the product ecom page.
Despite Jake's expertise for fitness shoes and experience writing content for search, what he may have overlooked is one of the most basic and important fundamentals of search engine optimization.
You go in with heart and you say, I want to write the best post and I want to make sure that whoever comes and lands on this page finds the best shoes for them. But what we forget is what does that person really want? And who is that person?
Fortunately for Jake, Google shows their cards right on the search results page.
We come here and we look at this and we see products. So somebody who's searching for best gym shoes wants to buy something. Where do you see filters like this usually?
Generally on like a normal product page or like a category page.
That's right. It also tells us something about optionality. When people are searching for things like best gym shoes, they want options. Why are we only seeing under 70, 70 to 100, and over 100?
It's likely what people are spending the most on, I guess.
Yeah, probably, right? And so now you're starting to learn about who this shopper is and what information you can provide to support their need. But we look at this and we say, why is Google ranking this page? Like my content's way better. Like they're only recommending this shoe and this shoe. These are terrible shoes. But that's not necessarily what the searcher wants.
Let's look at Run Repeat, a shoe review site whose traffic has spiked just around the same time that Jake's dropped.
And so when I land on this page, the first thing that you see is this huge image. We have a very short intro, and then we have a quick summary of the entire post. This block here is the intent of the searcher, more or less. And then the next thing they do is they qualify themselves. It's like high quality video of them actually testing shoes. Like I look at this and I'm like, okay, these guys are the real deal. I'm like, okay, which ones? Okay, how much is it? Oh yeah, I do a lot of cardio, okay. 65 bucks, that's cheap, all right. 50% off, okay, I'll buy, boom. They just made some money, right? And I'm satisfied with this. Google is now finding out that, okay, the person clicked here, they didn't go back to the search results, they stayed on the page, they interacted with it, they clicked links on it, the searcher was therefore satisfied.
Surfing search intent goes beyond content format. Much of it comes down to user experience. There were a couple things I had to show Jake. The first supported what we saw in the SERP, optionality.
We come down here, and this is where we start to see something interesting that they've done that you have not yet done.
Where to buy from multiple places?
Yeah.
Google's product review guidelines says to consider including links to multiple sellers to give the reader the option to purchase from the merchant of choice. Most of Jake's review pages that I saw only had 1 to 2 choices. The second UX feature I showed Jake was something he had never seen before, an affiliate site that gives an end-to-end shopping experience.
They see the prices, they see the colors, they see whether it's men's or women's. You can choose the size and you can get all that inventory information, which is done through APIs. From a user experience perspective, that's amazing for me. Like, is that I just read about this stuff here, and within that same experience, I'm like, I want this shoe. And so I'm like, okay, well, cool. I'm a 10.5. I can see which ones are available here. I like the black ones, but you know what? I'd rather pay $120 instead of $224. Well, where do I buy that? Oh, okay, well, I'd rather buy it from Nike. So then I'll go here, bing, bang, boom. I just bought it and it's done. In many ways, I like it when people stop thinking about search, because then they focus on these small micro nuances that don't really move the needle. But when you just focus on serving the intent of the searcher, you're gonna get more conversions. And if Google does their job right, you're going to get more traffic.
I had a feeling Jake had some doubts on improving UX, so I had to prove my point. Let's take a look back at Run Repeat.
So this is September 2023. They went from 225,000 monthly visits. I don't know exactly what they did, and I can't attribute it all to that one little thing that I showed you there. What did they do from September 2023 to today that was so different from back here? You can learn a lot of this stuff in Page Inspect.
Using Ahrefs Page Inspect, we can see and compare changes that happened on a page, much like the Wayback Machine, but with way more dates to choose from.
Like you might look and you say, oh, they changed their design. Well, what in their design did they change? Why did they change that? Do you see what's different from the December version?
Oh, the table with the shoes.
Yeah, the e-com thing. Everything from size to color to men's, women's, and all of a sudden we're seeing that everything's combined from the SERP.
I feel like I could build a table that does way better and more depth than that.
After showing Jake the importance of user experience, I had to share one tip with him that I thought would take his good content strategy to a great one.
How are you deciding like what content to create?
What's relevant and what's new in the industry. I've been in it for so long, I know which shoes are coming out, what people are looking for. Like a lot of my traffic now is just coming from my individual reviews for new shoes. All of my listicles are gone out of search.
I think when you create any piece of content, you can't create for everyone, because if you try and create content for everyone, you end up creating content for no one. Create a separate one for best weightlifting shoes for advanced lifters or whatever that might be. And you can always internally link to that one in your beginner one. And to create that user experience
beyond just writing a blog post.
Arguably, the biggest unfair advantage Jake's competitors have over him is huge resources and budget. But Jake has his own unfair advantage, one he hasn't realized yet.
You're competing against some of the big brands that have lots of money behind them that are able to do stuff like this. It makes it tough for you to compete in that kind of environment. There's one very clear advantage that I think you have, which is your actual experience.
Jake was determined to work on improving user experience for his visitors, but the big question was still left unanswered. What are the next steps he should take to a full recovery?
If you're trying to recover, you need to look at the data and then come up with a reasonable hypothesis and then test one thing at a time.
When you implement things, like don't go crazy and just invest all the money you have to hiring this team, and people want to go crazy because they're like, oh, it makes sense now. We don't know how Google's going to respond to these things, right? After the Medic update in 2020, this site was on top of the world with anything health related, and then boom, smashed. A little bit of recovery, boom, smashed. And they've just never been able to recover. They've hired SEO agencies and they were just never able to do it. And I think that's what it comes down to, is you can't put all your eggs in the Google basket.
2 weeks after I spoke with Jake, Google rolled out their August core update to promote genuinely useful content. The result?
The site was hovering anywhere from 6,000 to 7,500 clicks a day, and now we're back at 2,800 clicks.
Even though he hasn't fully recovered from this update, his traffic and revenue are making a comeback. But instead of excitement, this experience has left him on guard despite doing nothing wrong.
But it's not boom, it's all back to normal. It's a slow uptick, and I'm fully expecting that. And mentally, I'm telling myself, just assume that nothing is changing from the financial front with this algo update. I still have it in my mind that I'm going to be doing exactly what I've been doing for the last 5, 6, 12 months almost.
After speaking with Jake, it was clear there's one massive thing Google lacked that would help small businesses thrive when impacted by an algorithm update: transparency.
I would love to still have clarity as to what parameters really dictate the helpful content update. Other HCU sites are seeing a bit of a bounce back, but I know a lot of good producers still aren't. I think the more we can have these fleshed out understandings of what they're looking for, it's going to help content producers build things that are more user-driven.
While Jake's site is on its way to recovery, this story is far from over. There are still many sites that had their traffic and revenue snatched away overnight like Jake. But that doesn't change the fact that SEO is still a powerful marketing strategy to grow your business, just like it did for Jake. And if you want to learn how to get traffic from Google, then watch our free SEO course for beginners right here on YouTube.